Big UFC coming up. Ding, ding.
Especially for the Australian boys.
Yeah, big time, big time.
Scroll that bitch down.
So 2 title fights on the main card. Aussie featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski going up against the Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung. For
big fans of both of these guys.
Yeah. It's hard to not like the Korean zombie. The way he fights, like just no respect for his body whatsoever.
Or his brain.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that he came in the UFC, was hot, disappeared, did his military service for a couple of years, and then came back.
It was 3 years.
Yeah. So and still he's now fighting for the title. Like
unbelievable.
Excellent story.
And when did he? Because he fought Jose Aldo for a title years and years ago before the military service.
Yeah, must have been.
Can you bring up
his record?
Yeah, his record. And then, went away for 3 years. And I was just watching a little preview this morning on UFC 273, and he was saying the nerves that he had going back in the octagon after 3 years out. He said, my legs were shaking. And then, he's gone on an absolute heater of a run. Volkanovski's kind of cleared out the other guys in Holloway and Ortega, and he got given his chance.
So I think Korean Zombie's last loss was I don't want to say it's unlucky, the spinning back elbow from Ortega when he potentially was winning a lot of that fight leading up to that. So, like you said, he's cleared out the division there with Volkaz, and he's got he's the next in line, definitely. Well, what'd you get there for us, Jimmy?
It was 3.5 years between his military service, wasn't it?
What were the years? Just for clarity.
2013 to 2014 is the gap between UFC fights.
13 to 17. I think
17, sorry.
I think he said 14. So 3.5 years, and it was after that loss to Jose Aldo, which was for the championship. Should say on the right there.
Yes, for featherweight championship. UFC 163.
Jeez, going back 2013, bro.
Yeah.
110 since there to the here.
Quick math.
Quick maths needs to go. So, a massive opportunity. We'll have the weight of a nation behind him. So will Volk, I guess.
Volk's only had one loss and been dominant up to this point. And Korean Zombie, very similar sort of size.
Yep.
I'd say they've probably rounded up on Volk's height there a little bit too.
Rounded up to a 5'6".
Yes. Yeah. Korean definitely has some size to him. So, the Zombie, I think it's going to be an elite fight. Can't wait for it.
Goes the distance, do you reckon?
Oh, maybe a war like the Ortega fight was. Yeah. And maybe in that fourth round, one of them may wilt. We'll have to see. The Zombie, by all accounts, doesn't wilt. So we'll have to see. But I'm looking forward to it. Loving this fight.
A lot of Volk's fights do go the distance. Hey, he's got elite cardio, elite.
Pick up the effort.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's one of the fittest athletes on the planet.
Yeah, he doesn't. Probably the only thing he really lacks is that knockout, like finishing power. He's just going to just beat the shit out of you. For 5 rounds, which I guess is probably worse. There's more brain damage maybe from a 5-round war than there is from a quick knockout.
Yeah, so his last knockout was in December 2018 against Chad Mendes.
Yeah, so all of his title fights have gone the distance.
But that's title fights for you, I guess. Once you get to that point, you're fighting the best of the best.
Well, even before then, Chad Mendes was in between 2 that went the distance. It's been a while since he's knocked anyone out. Look at that record. A lot of green there.
Yeah.
Very long time.
Hasn't lost a fight since 2013. Yeah. Corey Nelson.
Well, hasn't lost in the UFC.
No, never lost in the UFC.
Yeah.
Never heard of that Corey Nelson, but he's obviously an Australian bloke and he can go around swinging his dick saying, I've beaten the world champ.
I saw there's a story about him today because he's a tradie. So he's
on the tools.
Yeah, he's on the tools.
He's beaten the featherweight champion 3-time title coming up.
I only one with the one loss. Giving him that one loss. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, well. Next title fight?
Yeah, so the co-main will be Germain Sterling versus Peoria Yan. I think that's how you say that, Peoria. Yeah. So Germain famously winning the belt from the illegal knee.
Disqualification.
Disqualification from Peoria. And then they've kind of rescheduled this a few times. Germain's had some ongoing neck issues. Can't wait to
neck issues.
Whoa.
Being a bitch.
Whoa. Say it to his face, bro.
Yeah,
Say it to his face.
Yeah, no.
You can't imagine Piotr's going to get a very good reception in America.
I don't think so. Yeah, that's probably the one thing that's going to maybe he might be a little bit shocked about. But yeah, I think he's going to be booed heavily.
I don't think he'll be shocked for him.
Pure.
Nope.
Yeah, but I think going out there, you're going to get booed. But then you go out there and you got 50,000 people booing you. Like it's different.
Spitting venom.
It's just like, oh wow, this is I was expecting it, but this is over the top. So it's not his fault.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And
I think he probably spends more of his time. He definitely spends more of his time in the US than he does at home, I'd say.
Any thought? We didn't give any tips before. We're all going Volk.
I think
boy Volk.
I think Volk, we're looking for a great fight, and not. I wouldn't be disappointed if the Zombie win. I think that's a great story going back there.
Really?
Yeah, I've been a big Korean Zombie fan before Volk was even in the division. So,
the Korean Zombie's been in the top 10 in the featherweight for over 10 years.
yeah.
Which is nuts at any level to be doing that.
Hey, if they want to have a trilogy between these two, I'd be happy to watch that as well. So
I'm sure Max Holloway would have something to say.
yes, he's like, yeah. But hey, if there's a third person to that dance party, like definitely be more than happy to see that at the top of the division. Back on the other one, I think Yan's going to pants Sterling.
Yeah. I think that I'm just chasing some odds here. Oh, wow. This is probably closer than you would have expected. Less close, I should say. Volkanovski, $1.13. The Korean Zombie, $5.50.
Everyone forgets that he was handily winning that fight through all the rounds. His coach was yelling knee, and he was like, sure, threw a big knee. Yeah, hit him in the head while he was down and was like, yeah, they just.
Oh, yeah. I was just saying that there are similar odds in the Yan Sterling fight, but the odds for Volk and Korean Zombie are $1.13 to $5.50. Bear in mind that is through an Australian bookie, so there might be a little bit of tax on that. And then Yan very short against Germain at $1.20. Germain at $4.25.
I think your next one there is a bit interesting though.
Yeah, in terms of the odds.
Yes.
Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Kazmat Chimaev against Gilbert Burns. Kazmat.
Can you grab rankings for these two? Because I think this is probably your number one contender fight in this division.
You know much about Kazmat?
He's Aaron Till's best mate. They're always together and training. So he's in England, of course, doing all that training.
You know where he's from? Chechnya.
Chechnya.
Can't imagine too much soft comes out of Chechnya, as we've seen with all the Dagestani fighters.
Potentially might not get a good reception himself.
Correct. Although hasn't been there for a long time. Swedish national these days.
But I think Gilbert Burns has been hard done by because he's paying $5.20 to $1.14. That's really short. And
wow.
He's giving up a heap of size in this, but Gilbert Burns has got power. He definitely rocked Usman in their title fight.
Yeah, exactly right.
Coming back in this, but his opponent is the up and comer in the division, unfortunately, and they've got big raps on him. Want to push him basically straight into a title fight with Usman. So, yeah.
I'm just having a look here. At his record, he is 10-0 in the UFC. 10-0 mixed martial arts career, 4-0 in the UFC for Kazmat. 6'2", pretty big as well. So he might have. Does he have a reach advantage?
Yeah,
5'10". Yeah, so 4 inches taller than Gilbert Burns. And Burns, a little bit unlucky. Well, hard done by, I should say, with those odds. He's only lost out of his last 8 fights was that title fight against Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, and the guys he's fought are all ranked. Those last 5 there are all definitely ranked.
Wonderboy, Tyron Woodley, Gunnar Nelson, they're all
Damian
big names.
Maya in there
Damian
as well.
Maya.
He's a big name.
Yep.
So,
maybe 520 if you want something juicy. Getting on the Brazilian. Gilbert Burns.
So Kazmat's currently ranked 11th at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, like you're saying, they're fast tracking him.
Big time fast tracked. And what's Burns? 2?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And one's Colby. Yeah,
Colby.
and he just lost. So, like I said, winner of this probably gets Usman.
Yeah, it is fast track. It is fast track. Leon Edwards is there. He I don't know, maybe could have something to say about it, but
yeah, they got to do that Leon Edwards fight. So they got to do that at some point. But yeah, like I said, they're definitely trying to fast track this one very, very quickly.
I don't think we'll go into odds for the remaining fights. We might just run through the rest of the card and just touch on the other fights. Women's strawweight is Mackenzie, Dern and Tatia Torres. Monks, if you wouldn't mind getting their rankings up in the strawweight division.
I think Dern's been on a bit of a tear lately.
Yeah. Not big names, are they?
Mackenzie Dern's a pretty well known name in that.
She's coming off a loss to Marina Rodriguez, but before that had won her last 4. Has been in the UFC for quite some time now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights in the UFC for a 6-2 UFC record. Her mixed martial arts record is 11-2.
So Dern's currently also ranked 5th, with Torres ranked at 7. So
5 versus 7.
Yeah, pretty good even matchup there, I suppose.
And Tatia Torres is 3 on the trot after a 4 loss streak. So unbelievable.
Look at her loss streak.
Yeah, the people that she lost to, Jessica Andrade, Joanna Jedrzej, Zhang Wei Li and Marina Rodriguez.
Those 3 have all been champions.
Yeah.
And Marina Rodriguez actually just had beaten Dern as well. So
yeah, pretty rough run there for Torres. She's been in the UFC for ages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 fights in the UFC. She's 10-4. Yep.
7 years there, 2 years.
10-5, sorry. And guess who the other loss is?
no.
Rose Namajunas. Yeah, that's she's lost to a lot of very, very good female talent there.
Yep.
So then there's a heavyweight fight listed. I'm not sure if you can find this because there was 2 Kevin Gastelum fights booked on this, and I think his opponent both times pulled out.
Okay.
So that was cancelled. And I think UFC, the card still has it listed with his Faf Duplessis. No, it's not fighting Faf Duplessis.
Faf
Duplessis. He's fighting Duplessis. So
Faf's pretty solid. I wouldn't want to cop one on the chin from him.
It was a joke. It was Duplessis who he's fighting. So allegedly he was the replacement, but I think that's been cancelled as well. And then they've moved this heavyweight fight in as the 5th fight. So I'm not sure. There is meant to be a 5th fight on this pay-per-view. I'm not 100% sure if it's confirmed exactly what it is.
It looks like there's a fight there.
What I've got listed is Alexei Oleinik versus Jared Vandera. Alexei Oleinik, Ukrainian-born out of Kharkiv. Yep. He's 44 years of age.
Both of these guys, I think, are unranked.
He's old. Coming off a 3 loss streak, although pretty handy names again in Spivak, Dorcas and Derek Lewis. Beat Fabricio Verdum back at UFC 249, which is pretty crazy. Look at how many fights he's had. 76 professional fights, 59, 16 and 1 at 44 years of age. They are built different, those Eastern Europeans, aren't they? Just built different. I know if I had 2 professional fights and made a little bit of money, I would say, yep, that's me done. I might go play some golf or something now. That is wild. 76 professional fights. Going up against Jared Vandera. He fought not long ago, didn't he? Yeah, against Arlovsky at 271. So he's also coming off a couple of losses. So it does seem like the UFC's kind of scrambled to try and get 2 guys together at short notice to take that fight.
The UFC website still has that and the Kevin Gastelum fight on it. So I think that fight's been cancelled and that one's come in. So interesting there. But the top 3, it's very heavy top 3 with the 2 title fights. It's looking like a really good card, so looking forward to it.
And I'll just run through the prelims. Aspen Ladd take on Raquel Pennington in the women's bantamweight. Welterweight, Ian Gary taking on Darian Weeks. Can't really say I know too much about them. Middleweight, Anthony Hernandez versus Josh Fremd. And heavyweight, that's a pretty big one there.
Yeah, Rosenstrike down there.
Yeah, Jairzinho Rosenstrike and Marcin Tybura to open up the prelim card.
And Mickey Giles are pretty well known down the bottom.
On the early,
of course, ending
prelims.
CM Punk's career.